Hey everybody, welcome to Crackback Tuesday number 98 on the Mana League. I'm John as always, and we've got ourselves Tezzeret sitting here, Aether Revolt. Last week of Aether Revolt for at least a week. Next week we will be doing Modern Masters 2017. The week after, we might do another pack of Modern Masters. We might go back to Aether Revolt. Not sure yet, but we're going to crack those open, see what's in it, and see what we would take. Pack one, pick one if this was a draft. Up first, we have Shock, and I see the next card, and this is going to be one of those weeks where we just look at the same cards as last week. Shock, single red mana for an instant. Shock deals 2 damage to target creature or player. First pickable for sure, right up in the top right-hand corner, just like it was last week. Follow that up with Taken to Custody, which you know what that means. That means Ghirapur Osprey is coming next. Taken to Custody, we've talked about 3 weeks in a row. It's garbage. Get out of there. Hey, look at that. A Ghirapur Osprey. 2 and a white for a creature bird. It's a 2/2 flyer. It's a Windrake. I feel like I've said all of this before. You can get these late if you want them, but you're not going to take it very highly. Now, thankfully, Defiant Salvager is not next, but we do have a black card. We have Alley Strangler. So we've broken the print run. Alley Strangler, 2 and a black for a creature Aetherborn Rogue. It's a 2/3. It's got Menace. It's fine. It's a filler, you know, it's like 22nd, 23rd card. I'll probably always play one of them when I have them. Gets a lot better with Midnight Entourage, of course, but, you know, just having Menace is great. It can win you games later on, assuming the board state hasn't gotten out of control. Yeah, it's fine. It's just nowhere near a first pick. Next up is Scrounging Bunder. Hey, there's a top 10 common of the set. Scrounging Bunder is 1 and a green for a 0/0, but it Cat Monkey, of course. But it does enter with 2+1/+1 counters. Then, at the beginning of your upkeep, you can move any number of +1/+1 counters from Scrounging Bunder onto another target creature. This thing just does so much, and that's frankly what green really does. A lot of the cards do a lot. You know, this is a 2/2 for 2. It does that. This pumps up your other creatures. It does that. This enables Revolt, because you can just move both creatures off it and it dies, and then you've enabled Revolt that turn with 0 cost. It does a ton. It's totally great. I think it's first pickable in weak packs. Having Shock in this pack, I think, means this is not a weak pack, so I don't know if Scrounging Bunder should hang out in the frame. I think off of these first 5 cards, we'll keep it here, but I think it's probably not going to be here by the end of the pack. But it is a great card. Well, yeah, we're not a weak pack at all. Daring Demolition, 2 black for a sorcery. Destroy target creature or vehicle. Straight up unconditional removal. Yes, it's sorcery speed. No, that doesn't matter that much. It's a fantastic card, certainly a first pick. We've got 3 of my top 10 commons sitting here right now. Scrounging Bunder is not long for this frame. Next up is Ice Over. Well, that's not going to do anything. 1 and a blue for an enchantment or enchant artifact or creature. Enchanted permanent does not untap during its controller's untap step. Usually this effect is a little bit less good because the creature has to tap first or the artifact has to tap first. But in a set with Improvise and with Crew, and that is just frankly very aggressive, creatures are going to be tapped. And so you can get them with this. However, it's not great removal. It's in no way, shape, or form unconditional. I would never first pick an Ice Over. If I'm in blue, I'll probably play one, but this is just not a pack for Ice Over. Next up is Implement of Combustion. 1 generic mana for an artifact. Pay a red. It deals 1 damage to target player. Sack it, of course. And then you draw a card. I thought this was horrible when I first saw it, and I still don't think it's great. It just happens to work well with red because of the Improvise. Doing this into Steamworks Brawler is really, really, really good. And then if you're lucky, doing this into an Enraged Giant or doing this into a Free Jam Regent gets even better. The 1 damage doesn't really matter. Yeah, it'll win you some games here and there, but it doesn't really matter. The card draw, though, is also great. Getting that card in an aggressive red deck that's planning on emptying its hand by turn 5 is super useful. So I have come way up on Implement of Combustion. It's still way low in my pick order. It is late pack pickup, so we're not going to consider it here, but it's not the F that I thought it was. Up next is Verdant Automaton. 2 generic mana for an artifact creature construct. It's a 1/2. Pay 3 and a green to put a +1/+1 counter on it. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Yes, I've heard some games. Yes, I've seen some games where it's gone late and this has become like a 12-13 creature, but those are really few and far between. I have probably more than I've seen that happen just played a shock and hit this after the opponent has dumped 4 mana into it in response, and it's frankly a little bit of a blowout. Do not like Verdant Automaton. It starts out way too weak and costs just a little bit too much for me to be decent. Nowhere near a first pick. Augmenting Automaton is our final common. We're looking at a 1 generic mana artifact creature construct with a 1/1. Pay 1 and a black to give it +1/+1. We talked about this a few weeks ago, I think. It's fine. It's nice and aggressive, sort of. You can get in for a point or 2 or 3 of damage, and then you can maybe use this to improvise or something like that. But I wouldn't really play this unless I had some synergies going on with it. Works out well in black-red. Doing this into a Steamworks Brawler, into an Enraged Giant, etc. is decent. But yeah, it's just sort of fine, okay, nowhere near a first pick. Our first uncommon is Ornithopter, which we're not even going to talk about. It's garbage. Do not play Ornithopter for any reason ever. Renegade Wheelsmith is a card you can play. And I think at this point we'll just take Bunder out. Renegade Wheelsmith is 1 red-white for a 3/2 dwarf pilot. When it becomes tapped, target creature can't block this turn. This is incredibly aggressive, just super aggressive. I've seen a deck that had 4 of these in it, and it was frankly disgusting. 3/2 that can attack and make a creature not be able to block is just an absolute beating. Red-white is already a very aggressive deck. I like this card quite a bit. I would consider first picking it in many, many packs, even though it is a gold card. I don't think it's going to win out against Shock or Daring Demolition, but it is still very, very good. Our last uncommon is going to hang out in frame as well. Hungry Flames, 2 and a red for an instant. Hungry Flame deals 3 damage to target creature and 2 damage to target player. In fact, Shock is great, but I think it's going to have to go because this is just better than Shock. This is 3 shocks. Wow, this is 4 shocks kind of stapled into 1. Maybe like 2.5 shocks. Hungry Flames is just really good. Instant speed, kills X3s, does an extra 2 damage to the face just because. Just a fantastic card. Certainly a first pick in many packs, but not this one because we have a Walking Ballista. Walking Ballista XX for an artifact creature construct. It's 0/0. Walking Ballista enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Pay 4 to put a counter on it. Remove a +1/+1 counter from it to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. I wasn't super high on this in my set review. I don't remember what I gave it. I hope I didn't give it like a C- or something. But I know I said, getting this to be a 2/2 and then having to put so much extra mana into it just doesn't work. But the fact that there is a lot of counter stuff in this, you can get counters on this with Bunder, you can get extra counters on this with the Constrictor, is just huge. And then, if you do, get even slightly late game, just being able to pay 4 to ping things, Walking Ballista is amazing. We all know it's amazing. It's amazing in constructed, etc. Walking Ballista is frankly gonna blow up the rest of this pack. But boy, look at this pack. Look at this pack. This is one of the strongest packs I've seen in a long time. Bunder, Shock, Demolition, Wheelsmith, Hungry Flames. Nothing else in the pack that I'd really consider super strong. But boy, 6 very, very reasonable first picks. Well, let's say 5 very, very reasonable first picks and a Bunder, but I'm going to go with the Ballista. Let me know what you would have taken. Would you have taken the Ballista? I imagine most of you would have. It also has value attached to it. Would you have taken one of the removal spells? Let me know in the comments down below and the poll in the top right-hand corner. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at The Mana Leak. That's LEEK, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at facebook.com/TheManaLeak, twitch.tv/TheManaLeak, and patreon.com/TheManaLeak, where you can become a backer, help this channel keep going, become a draft sponsor, get access to the patrons only stream, and earn your way towards one of these playmats. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.